Food Not Bombs. Okay, so we started the downtown LA Food Not Bombs with Sunny War. She was the main one, I think, and Rowan. There was a fundraiser concert, I think, in December, and we started up in January, and we were feeding every other week, every other Wednesday. But then the quarantine happened, and about a month into quarantine, I hit them both up and I asked, hey, I don't know if this sounds crazy, but I've been thinking about who's feeding them. If everyone's in quarantine, are there any other volunteers there? And they both said they were thinking the same thing. Um, but yeah, one of them, one is Black and losing relatives, like, because COVID's been hitting Black and Natives more than everyone else pretty hard. So, and then the other one was living with old people, so that was also out. It was risky and dangerous for them. So, and I don't have any kids, and I'm not living with any old people, and I feel healthy and strong and vegan, that kind of thing. So I put the word out on Instagram and Facebook, something along the lines of, hey, if anyone uh, feels pretty strong, you don't have kids, don't live with old people, you're not Black, gonna be at risk. I put down all these things, and I said, if you think you can, if you fit all this, and you want to live on the edge and go and serve food, and if you get the sickness, you will not go to hospital and burden hospital workers, getting them sick. The point is, well, that's not the point. Okay, and then I got a response. So Horacio Gambarte, so he stepped up and he said he'll go with me, and then it was a go. Then my other friends are school teachers, and then they helped. So they're doing the assembly line. It's been an operation. So we decided on Sri Lankan tea sandwiches because it has all the food groups pretty much, and it's portable, it's easy, because we changed how we did it in downtown. So no more table serving the food because that's a social distancing issue. So what we did was we can't gig anymore. So my drum set cart, my cart for my drums, now that is holding cases of water bottles, oranges, and then a box full of sandwiches. So I make the fillings here, and then the fillings go to my friend's house, and then they do the assembly line, and they crank out all the sandwiches and give it back to me. And then from there, then I go to downtown LA on Wednesdays, and I put the word out on Facebook and Instagram too about, well, people were depressed, and it was really funky vibes, like the first few weeks of quarantine, and even I was in funky vibes, which was what made me like feeling better, part of feeling better service and helping others. So I wanted to do that. And I also wanted to get energy moving in me too. Okay, I gotta move. Okay, you know what? If I have to move, other people need to move. So I might as well. Okay, you know what? Let's all do yoga together. Who wants to here's the space. This is how we do it right here. This camera, Zoom, right here. I teach yoga class, and I put the word out. Free yoga class for everyone. If you can donate, if you want to donate, all of it will go for groceries for Food Not Bombs. And I've gotten a lot of love and support. People been sending money, and it's enough money to feed 100 people every week. So that's been the goal. We stepped it up from every other week to every single week because volunteers have time now. They have time, and I have time, no gigs. So yeah, there's more volunteers, and people are sending enough money, and we've been doing it every week. It's awesome. I'm a yoga teacher. I got my training in Bangalore, India from S. Vyasa, that's the short name for it. Let me look up the long name real quick. Swami Vivekananda Anusandana Samsthana. So that's the full name where I went to school in India, in Bangalore. And I got my yoga certification there about 10 years ago now. Wow, time flies. Well, I MC punk rock shows. It's random. It goes back to you and me over 20 years ago now. All the activist stuff, animal rights, feminism, social justice, Black Panthers, racism, all that stuff we were doing back in the 90s. Uh, they went together. It was punk and activists. It was together, and we were together all the way from Coos Cafe. Workshops, solidarity festivals. Lately, in the last few years, I want to say maybe 5 years, I've been emceeing punk rock shows, the Peace Punk Fests in both the Bay Area and here in LA, and also the Anarcho Peace Punk gatherings. So yeah, and also the fashion show. So it's punk rock show, and then Audi Thunders has her fashion line, and actually I'm wearing her outfit. She made this. So yeah. Oh, it's awesome. It's punk bands, speakers, activists. We've had Black Panthers and Brown Berets, people coming through and talking and speaking about how to make changes in society and sharing their stories of how they did it back in the day. So we have bands, we have speakers, we have workshops, and the fashion show and vendors. Okay, one question I get a lot is, how come I never play at the punk shows? Well, I mean, somebody does need to MC, and that's me. But not just that. It's random and weird. Yeah, all the activist stuff was at the punk rock shows. But my gigging life, the way it's lined up and worked out for me, is I'll play jazz, reggae, funk. I do completely different kind of music that I'm playing drums at in totally different scenes, not necessarily in the punk rock scene. But I would love to one day. I mean, when the right project lines up, then I'm sure I'll play at a punk show eventually. I do play drums, but for now in different styles. So I've done my own music projects too. Uh, I have an EP out. You can find it on Amazon or Bandcamp or Reverb Nation. My project is Saltation Ignite. So I did my production there, and I played drums, and I did everything on that project. And I'll put more of those out, and probably a variety of different stuff, like fusion, rock, whatever, punk. Like a little variety, but then also yoga music. I don't know if I should do two different names yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I'll be putting that out. Yeah, these are heavy times, and I want everyone to stay safe. Blacks and natives are getting this virus. They're getting hit pretty hard, and I want everyone to be safe. And also those are the ones protesting right now too. So I would say wear the mask, wash your hands, hand sanitizer, all of that. Keep each other safe, looking out for each other. Also self-care. I mean, if you're I've actually been getting in a bunch of fights lately online with the other yoga crowd. I mean, I'm a yogini of color, and I'm dark. I'm like as dark or darker than most of my Black friends, and so I definitely feel this cause with them. And so, oh, you should be so peaceful. You shouldn't be promoting violence. I'm like, I'm not promoting violence, or I'm not promoting anything. But I want my friends to be okay. And if they're going to express themselves however they're going to express themselves, like, they're going to do it. I mean, if that cop didn't get off, all he had to do was take the knee off, and none of this would have happened. But they wanted to do it the hard way. So here we are. So what I want to say for them is get your yoga in. If cops try to bend you in funky positions, yoga will help you to prevent injury better. Meditation. uh, you need to be mentally sharp to strategize. You need to be mentally sharp to strategize, to be calm in the storm. Like these are skills that'll help you on the battlefield. And if you want to check out the Bhagavad Gita, that's actually it's messed up. The Hitler, he took the swastika, he twisted it, he studied the Bhagavad Gita as a war manual. So that's not good, and I don't want anyone, but I don't know how these Western yogis are just so, I mean, martial artists meditate all day. They prepare for combat. You go to China, these Shaolin monks, all these various monks, South India, Sri Lanka, all these martial artists, they meditate. A lot of times in meditation to be able to stay calm through the battle, through the chaos. So yeah, it's a skill. And please get your meditation in, get your yoga in, get your self-care and get your sleep. You need to refuel every day. You need to rest and refuel. How are you gonna go out there and fight if you're tired? If you're tired, if you're stressed out, if you're frazzled? Self-care is very important right now. We're in a situation, I believe the shelters are still open for domestic abuse, and it has been skyrocketing. The numbers have been going up for domestic violence, which is horrible. I would try to say get the most space you can away. If you can find friends or other relatives that you can stay with, take the kids to temporarily. Always have a strategy. I know it's not easy, and we all have different lives and different situations. We come from different situations. That's my dog barking. But yeah, try to have your escape plan ready. Try to get enough money to be able to move out somehow. Reach out to your friends. Reach out, to your friends, and try to make an alternative situation so you can get out of there. And maybe if it's possible, get him help. Sometimes a dude needs a wake-up call, maybe. I don't know. He needs domestic violence training. These dudes are working on themselves too. They have their own stuff to work out. And he needs to work that out on his own, away from you. That's his journey. But if he wants to go get therapy and whatever, and maybe one day work it out with you, then fine. But like, your safety comes first. Find your friends. There are quarantine pods going on. There's close friends, of clusters of friends hanging out. Get into a pod and get out of there. Dance. Yeah, it's interesting. I have a music degree. I was a music teacher, teaching credentials and all. A series of life events happened. I ended up in a little place for a while. I was partnered up and living in a bigger place, and then I was in a smaller place, and I got my yoga certification, and I was working at the gym, but I didn't have my music studio anymore. And I'd already been a Bharatanatyam dancer. That's classical South Indian dance. I'd already had that going on. And then I walked into a belly dance class just for a change of pace, and I got pretty decent, and then I did fusion, and next thing you know, I was getting dance gigs around the country and even in other countries too. I performed in New Zealand, I performed in the Dominican Republic, headlining some dance festivals and showcases. So that was unexpected. I meant to be a drummer, but I didn't have the facilities and spaces at the time to really focus on that. But I was able to dance and practice at the gym. So that was like 10 years. But now I'm focused on drums again. And I'm in this space now where I teach yoga and I could do music here. So yeah, I'm back to drums now.